Hey, happy Saturday. It's Nancy FAWN Presser here coming to you from Greenville, California. Just going to share with you some ideas and tips on how to get your mind engaged to help you meet your health goals. So happy to be here. So grateful to have you guys join me. Feel free to definitely. Hey, Betty, nice to see you. And Gigi, hi. So yeah, share your emojis. Definitely, if you hear something that's new for you, give me a thumbs up. If you hear something that you know, but it makes sense now, send me a heart. This is all about how to get your brain engaged to help you meet your healthcare goals. And again, I'm Nancy FAWN Presser. Hi, Gigi. Gigi's in Oceanside. Hey, Gigi. I hope you're enjoying nice weather. It's raining up here in Greenville. Supposedly it's going to snow soon. Yeah, and we are going to talk about the brain. And just so you know, I'm here. I'm your fearless leader for the Betty Life community, the Betty community, Nourish Betty community, and I have another page called Living the Betty Life, Health and Wellness Hacks for a Balanced Life. And I do some Betty Life programs, so we can talk about those all soon. But let's get into the meat of this. Ask your questions if you have any, send some emojis, and let's get going. So how to get your brain or mind engaged to help you meet your health goals. And I want to tell you, ladies, I had so much fun putting this together because not only have I been using my head for a long time to get many of my goals, not just my health goals, but definitely all goals in my life, but all these different things started to come as I started to put this together. So I actually have like 6 weeks worth of topics that we can talk about that all have to do with how to get your brain engaged. So today I'm not going to overwhelm you with too much information. We're just going to go through, I think I have 7 steps today. So if you have a pen and paper, get a pen and paper down. This is going to be really cool stuff, so you don't miss anything. Of course, you can always watch this on a replay because I'm going to post it obviously in the Nourish Betty community for everybody, and I'll probably make it a unit. So I don't know if you guys have seen, but we're able to do like these teaching units in Facebook now. So I'll probably make this a new unit. And if you haven't already checked out, I have a unit on how to conquer sugar cravings already created. So feel free to share that, check out that free information as well. All right, let's go for it. The first thing you need to do to get your mind involved is to know your goals. So you're going to have to write down on pen and paper and get what's going on in your head out of the head and onto something physical so that you can interact with it. So if you want to do that now, do that now. Oh, it's cool and gray and drizzly in Oceanside too. All right. Hey, Carol, thanks for joining us. So last week I presented a little chart like this. I love these wheel charts because they totally help get your right brain, your creative brain, into action. And so this chart talks about health and wellness, and there's all these spikes are different health and wellness. So we have spiritual, emotional, environmental, financial, intellectual, occupational, physical, and social. So you don't have to do something like this, but if you're looking on having more of a holistic lifestyle, a holistic life, then you may want to, take some of these topics and just write out, create some more spokes on your wheel, write out what your goals would be, So since we're kind of talking, maybe we're talking about physical health today, guys, give me a thumbs up if that's why you're here. You're more like interested in your physical health than say like your environmental health or emotional health, or type it in. Tell me what it is. What is your health goal? Is it physical? Is it social? Is it spiritual? Is it emotional? Is it environmental? Send me write in a comment about what it is that you really want to, which health aspect are you really looking to accomplish this year. So you want to know your goals. Okay, that's number one. Know your goals, write them down. What are my health goals, okay? And then just brainstorm. Let yourself totally free flow. Don't limit yourself. Don't edit yourself. Just go, what is perfect health for me? What would it look like? What's my perfect body? You want to get into that kind of aspect specifically, because if it's just going on and it's spinning around in your head, it's just always going to spin there. To get it out onto paper, your brain is going to be able to take that and focus on that so much better than just allowing it to spin. Because if you know anything about your brain, our brain is a spinning machine. It's kind of like, it's kind of like one of those bicycles, right? It's like a habit trail, it just keeps spinning and spinning and spinning and spinning and spinning and spinning unless we ask it to focus on something. All right. So it's really important. Get all those thoughts out of your head and get them down on paper. All right, I'm going to give a quick shout out to Ricky and Lisa and Loretta. Thank you for joining me today. Hi. And we're talking about how to get your mind engaged. So grab a piece of paper and pen if you want. We're starting on step 1 or tool 1 to get this done, and it's to know your goals. What are your goals? Be specific, write it out, get it out of your head, get it onto paper so you know what that is. Okay? All right. I think I'm going to stop there. And if you have any questions, just go ahead and comment in the comments. But I'm going to go on to step number 2. And that is, now that you have a list of what your goals are, number 2 is, why do you want that? Figure out why you want that. Okay, you want to write down why it's important that you have that goal. Because what happens most of the times when we make a goal, and it's kind of like a New Year's resolution, I had somebody say, I don't believe in those because they're just a to-do list for a week. Well, we don't want to make goals a to-do list. We want to make goals something that is actionable. So you want to know why you want this. And the more you get into the specifics of your why, the more they become heart-centered, all right? So a lot of times when I'm working with people or other people have worked with me, I'll say, I want to lose 20 pounds. And I'll have somebody ask me why. And I'll go, because I want to feel better in my body. And somebody will say, why? And I'll go, because right now I feel really heavy and I feel uncoordinated. And they'll say, why? And so like somebody from the outside could keep asking you why, until you get to this part that's so heartfelt, that's like deep down inside, it's almost gut-wrenching. Your why is gut-wrenching, and it's got to be that specific, because if you're not connected to your goal, then you're not going to be able to get it. And 2, if you're not connected to your goal, it's going to be easy to quit. And that's just how we are. It's just so easy to quit. It's like, oh, it's too hard. I'm going to give up. I haven't got it yet. You're going to come up with all these excuses if you don't have a very, very specific why. So what I'd like us all to do right now, if you're sitting down at your computer desk or you're listening to me, and as long as you're not driving, go ahead and sit down for a moment and just close your eyes. Okay? Just do this with me and play with me for a moment. I want you to take a nice deep breath in through the nose, let it out through the nose, and get really quiet for a second. Just take a moment, get quiet again, and breathe. And take another deep breath in, and take another deep breath out. Nice. And just allow your body to kind of sink into the chair that you're sitting on. Sink in a little bit further and get a little bit quieter. Nice. And keep allowing yourself to get quiet and heavier. Very good. Now do this, put your hands over your heart center. Nice. And then just bring into your mind's eye just a thought, just what is the most important health goal I want to achieve this year, in the next 30 days, in the next 60 days, and in the next year, whatever comes up for you. What is the most important? goal. And allow that just to resonate in your heart center. Excellent. Good. If you have pen and paper and you want to write that down, if it's something new, then go ahead and write that down. If it's something that's been on your heart and heavy in your heart for a long time, and just sit with that for a second. Nice. And keep breathing. Have your eyes closed. The next question I want you to ask yourself is, why is it important that I have this goal? Why is this goal so important to me? Why is it important for me to have this year? And any whys that come up, go ahead and write those down for yourself. Nice. All right. When you're ready, go ahead and just gently open your eyes. And I hope that those two questions and that little focusing exercise helped you. You can do that on your own anytime. Anytime you want to focus on your goal, you can just take a couple deep breaths in, deep breaths out. You saw or experienced how quickly that went. And just allow yourself to ask yourself questions and write down those answers. So right now, if you feel like you have a more heart-centered goal, write that down. If you feel like you have a real heart-centered why, write that down as well. Make sure that you have those before you go on to any of the other brain tricks that we're going to talk about today. All right. So that was just number one and number two. Okay. I'm going to go on. The next thing you want to do with this information is make it accessible to your brain. Okay. So our brains are funny little organs. They're great organs. I love it. And I love all the brain information that's being discovered now. They're really discovering more and more about how the brain works. Although, I don't know if you remember, when I grew up in school, they said we only used like about 6% of our brain, which is pretty amazing, out of that whole big organ. So now they're finding out, I think, more and more ways to access those parts of our brains that we didn't think were accessible. And one of the ways that we can access that is through written word and also through pictures. Okay, so what you want to do with this information, your goal and your why, about why you want to achieve that goal, you want to put those into words and you want to put those into pictures. So the first thing you want to think about is creating a picture board or a vision board, okay? One of the ways to do that I like to do is, one, put it in written word first and then put it in picture. So what I mean by that is write out your ideal health image. So if you were in 110% health, what would that look like for you? What would you look like? What would your body type look like? What clothes would you be wearing? What movement would you be doing? Would you be exercising? Where would you be living? What environment? How would you be expressing yourself in your 110% healthy, ideal self, ideal body? And again, get super specific with this. And when you write this out, involve your 5 senses. Okay, so you want to say something that says, I'm smelling, oh, like for me, it's like health. I think of smelling like fresh baked bread that we made with ancient grains because I don't buy commercial flour because that stuff is poison. Okay. And it is, we can have a whole conversation on that. But, you know, engage your senses, engage your sense of your smell, taste, touch. You know, what are you touching, or who's touching you? Or are you receiving hugs when you're in your ideal self state? You know, your eyes, when you look in the mirror, what's being reflected back to you? Are your eyes vibrant when you look at yourself in the mirror? What are you listening to? Are you listening to more compliments about how healthy you look and how great you look? I mean, engage all of your five senses in this healthy, ideal health image, and write it all down, and write it big, and go big, you know, go huge. Let your imagination run wild. Because the one thing that's so amazing about our brains is that our brain doesn't know the difference between what is real and what is imaginary. So in order to get our imaginary self to become real, we need to engage more in our imaginary self. So that's why I want you to write down this imaginary image of what it is. What does health look like to you? What do you look like when you're in ideal health? And go wild with it. Go big, because the bigger the better. The more you reach out for it, the better, you know, the better it's going to be. So go big on this. Definitely go big and write it out. Okay. Now, once it's all written down, you want to turn that image into a picture show. Okay. So you want to get your magazines out, or you want to go on your computer and you want to Google different pictures that are in your ideal health written word, and you want to you want to paste those to a board any way you want. You can even like cut out pictures of yourself and put them on your ideal body shape, or put your picture of you or your head doing something that is in your ideal health written word. You want to have the more of those things that you can see. You want to have those on your vision board, on your ideal health vision board. So make a vision board. It can be, you know, on 8.5 paper. It can be big. Mine are usually like, you know, mine are usually poster board. I get a big poster board, and then I get the images and I just paste them in a collage, kind of mishmashy all around, and then I use it. So we've talked about so far 3 ways to get your mind engaged. 1, know your goals, write them down. 2, find your why. Make sure you know what that is. If you need to, take a couple deep breaths and just settle in and touch your heart and ask yourself what those things are. And then 3, get those goals and why into a vision board and into a vision write-up. So it's like my ideal health write-up. Okay? So after you do that, the thing that you need to do is to read your ideal health image every day, or better yet, record it on your smartphone and listen to it being played back to you every day. Twice a day is always best. First thing in the morning, last thing before you go to bed. Those are the magic times. Those are the magic times. Your brain's not fully awake. Your subconscious mind is still kind of more open and receptive, and you want these imaginary things to get into your subconscious mind, so your subconscious mind can do some magic and get it back into your conscious mind, so you'll start the ball rolling into getting these imaginary images, these created images. So you want to read or listen to what you wrote every day, twice a day, and you also want to look at your vision board, the pictures, every day. And the key to this is to do it. And that just seems to be the hardest thing for people to do. It's like, that's when people are like, that sounds silly, that sounds hokey, I'm not going to do that. I'm sorry, I'm just scrolling down and I see like, wow, I've got so much, I've got so many more, yeah, so many more comments. So thank you, Gigi, for all your comments. I just noticed them. And thank you, Sheila, for joining, and Rhonda and Emma and Jeanette. Awesome. I hope some of you are like reading some of Gigi's comments, so they're awesome, and feel free to ask any of your questions or comment yourself. As you're here, give me a thumbs up if it's new information, or a heart if it's something that you've heard before but are happy that you're hearing it again. And let me go on and keep going so we're not here. I don't take up all of your Saturday, but this is good stuff. So you got to read it every day. And that really seems like the hardest thing for people to do, is to read it every day, or to listen to it every day, or to watch your vision board every day. And that's, really doing that, setting that as your practice. It's kind of like a healthcare, self-healthcare practice. That's the secret sauce. That's the secret sauce to getting your head, getting your mind engaged, is to doing the creative work and then focusing on it. Because I already said, the brain doesn't know what the difference between reality and imagination. It doesn't. It's going to take your imagination, and the more you look at it, the more that you involve yourself in it, the more you even feel it. If you can elicit an emotion, like, how does it feel to be your perfect self? How are you going to feel when you're in your ideal health image? How is that going to make you feel when you can engage in that while you're listening to what you wrote, and while you're looking at your picture board? Those emotions are going to make your brain even feel like it's even more real. And again, it's all about getting the imaginary to cycle into the reality. And to get that to happen, you got to get your brain out of what is. Okay, so if you're stuck in what your current reality is, and you're just stuck in, I'm unhealthy, I'm overweight, and that's all you're telling your brain is going to stay in, I'm unhealthy, I'm overweight, I have diabetes. That's what your brain is going to stay in. If you do the work to get your brain into and focused on the imaginary, then that imaginary is going to start to trickle into your life and become a reality. So that's the real meat of getting your brain engaged in reaching your healthcare goals. So I'm just kind of looking at my notes, making sure I'm getting all this good stuff here. It's a scientific fact that what your brain can see and believe, it can achieve. So that's why we want to show the brain pictures. That's why we want to listen to it and read your model every day, twice a day. And I want to share, a little story with you about how I've applied those 4 steps. We've got 4 steps to my life. So last year I made a vision board, and I always make one that kind of like goes through these things. I use a Bagua map, which is a Chinese feng shui map. It goes through financial, it goes through social, it goes through physical. Yeah, it goes through all of those, occupational, goes through all of these steps here on this little chart I made. And I do my vision board in those blocks. So I create visions, I create pictures in those blocks. And in the center of my vision board last year it said PCT Trail, and it was a picture of Bernie Falls, which is up here in the Northeast Sierras. And I just stuck it in there because I love Bernie Falls, and I've always wanted to start hiking the PCT Trail. And I didn't know how I was going to get that goal. I really didn't take any action steps towards that goal, but it was on my vision board. And I would look at my vision board every day, and I would feel what it would feel like to have the different things that were on my vision board. And this last year, a client of mine came in and said, "Hey, do you think I'm healthy enough to hike the PCT Trail?" And I said, "Yeah, of course you are. Definitely think you're healthy enough." And then she said, "Would you want to go with me?" And I was like, "What?" And I just said yes, because it was on my vision board. And that's how vision boards work. I mean, you can make them work faster by taking action steps towards the goals. But if you stick something on there and you focus on it, it is going to come into your reality, because you are focusing your brain on what you want instead of letting your brain go into default or focusing on the things that you don't want. Okay, I hope that's all making sense. Feel free again to put a question mark if it's not, or ask a question. This is going to be up. I'm going to create a unit for everybody. So I just want to go through, I think there's two more aspects to get your brain involved in your health. And the next one is like, we did all of this. The first 4 steps are all about taking action. Thank you, guys. Thanks for the thumbs up. Yay. So we did all of these steps. The first 4 steps are all about taking action. Okay. It's all about knowing your goals, number 1. 2, knowing your why. 3, creating a vision of not only a picture vision board, but also writing it out and having your senses, your 5 senses involved in what your perfect state of health is and getting yourself engaged. And then 4, it's looking at your picture board and listening, recording that image, that perfect health image in your voice and listening to it every day. Remember, twice a day, in the morning before you get up and right before you go to bed. Easy peasy steps, but you got to do them. And that's where we fall short. So the next step is like, all of those are all actions. They're like, it's something you're doing. It's something that's an activity, is something that you're doing. But the next step, it's all about letting go. And I know that's silly and it may sound counterproductive, but it's not. Because we need, not only do we need to do these action steps, but we also need to come a place every day where it's like, okay, that's what I want. That's what I'm focusing my brain on. But I'm also just going to let go and let God do the magic. And when we can do that, doesn't that feel good? Doesn't it feel good just to say, let go and let God? And it, like, I feel it in the pit of my stomach. So let's all close our eyes for just a second again. Just take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. And again, just drop into yourself for a moment. And on your breath in, just say, let God. And on your breath out, say, let go. And you can breathe in, let God, and let go. Let go on the exhale, let God on the inhale. And when you can do that with your goals, when you can become, some people call it hootless, become hootless whether you get them or not. When you can let go and let God just do the magic, then you're not worrying about getting the goal. And I think that's where a lot of us get stuck too. I mean, I'm raising my hand. I get stuck there too. I totally get stuck there. I totally get stuck in like wanting to do it all and do it myself because it's my goal and I want to achieve it. And I know it's all up to me and I'm the only person on the planet that's ever going to be able to do this. But you know what? We all are connected to a higher power, a higher universe, whatever being you want to connect to that's yours. We're all connected to that. Every single one of us, every living being, person, being, animal, physical, plant, everything. We're all connected to something that's greater than ourselves. And we can just let that higher being help us. It's like, that's where the magic is. When we worry about getting it done and that it's not happening and it's not happening soon enough and we're so bad and why can't we get this right, that's when we counterproduce us getting that goal, because worrying is just a prayer for what we don't want, right? I mean, when we worry, when we allow our brain to worry that we don't have this, that we're not going to get it, that is, we're telling our brain that we don't have it. We're telling our brain that we don't want it. We're telling our brain it can't be ours. So worrying is just a prayer for what you don't want. So that's why it's really important after you do all of these action steps, the first 4 things, getting your goal, writing it down, finding out what your why is, really going deep and getting a deep why so you can come back to that why and recommit to it and remember so you won't give up, so you'll keep going. And then make a vision board, feel the vision, write out what that vision is, listen to that vision, create that physical phenomenon and emotional phenomenon in your body every day, and doing that every day, and then just let go. Then those positive things are going to overtake any doubts, any fears, any worries, any negative thoughts that you have about not being able to do this. You got to keep focusing on that positive in order to get the positive, and let go and let God do the magic. Yeah. Okay, I'm just reading if I need to add anything else. Okay, I want to share a story about that because I want you to know that it is totally possible. I am not any different than you. I am just a person who has done these steps and has created a life that I love from these steps. And one of the things that has always happened to me is that when I do these steps, it is like magic happens. And so recently, I teach yoga in my community, and I wanted to get a new yoga space, a new yoga studio. And the old one, there was nothing really horrible about it. It was great, super grateful for it. It was just cold in the winter. It was in a gym, and it had a horrible heating system, and it was fine in the summer, in the spring, and in the fall. But once it hits winter here up in the Northeast Sierras, it's freaking cold. And I don't know about you, and I don't know if you like to exercise or you do exercises or if you've ever tried to do yoga, but doing yoga in a cold room is not pleasant, and it's not good for your body. So I just put the vision out there that I just wanted to find a space that was warm, I didn't have to pay as much rent, and that I could do. And so I just started putting that out there. I didn't even go through all of these steps. I just went through a few. It was just my goal. I wrote it down. I thought about it. And those things started to happen. And so now I went to a place that I've asked before if I could teach yoga in their space, and it was always a no, always a no, always a no. And this last time that I approached them, they're like, I think we can make that happen. And we've created this new partnership together. It's great. I'm looking forward to it. And I'm going to be able to move my yoga classes into a place that's going to be warm. It's going to be warmed up. I'm going to get new students because I partnered with a studio that brings in their own students, and I get to bring in my students. So I'm going to have larger classes, and it's rent-free. I'm like so excited and so ecstatic that this is happening. So if I can do this, you guys can do this. And if I can do it just with manifesting a yoga studio, you can do it manifesting the body and the health that you want. You just have to put yourself and commit to these few action steps and commit to doing it. All right, the last step in all of this about how to get your brain involved, engaged in getting your goals, is after you let go and let God, is just be thankful and be grateful for what you do have at this moment. So you may want to just take a moment, and let's all do this together, and just take a moment and connect into a nice deep breath in and a nice deep breath out. And let go of any worries and any outside concerns that you might have about reaching your health and wellness goals, and put your hands either over your heart or over your lower belly. Connect your hands to your body somewhere that it feels comfortable. And I want you just to say the words, thank you, thank you, thank you. Tell your body you're grateful for it, for what it is right now. Say thank you. Thank you for the body shape that you are right now. Thank you for getting me through these times and that you've gotten me through right now. Thank you for still functioning. Thank you for helping me be able to do what I do on a daily basis. Whatever it is, even if your body is burnt out and run down, thank your body for being able to rejuvenate. Thank you, body, for being able to heal. Thank you, body, for telling me that I need to pay more attention to you. Thank you, body. Thank you. Thank you. And when you start to connect to your body the way that it is right now, and be grateful for it, and bring positive energy to it, and speak positively about it, and talk lovingly to your body, the body that it is right now, then all the cells in your body start to listen. And again, this is all physiological fact, man. All of our cells vibrate. We vibrate. It's like we are tuned into an energetic vibration. And when you're feeding yourself negativity and hate, your cells are feeling that negativity and hate, and they're responding to it. They're breaking down. They're not wanting to heal and be vibrant. But if you start today, just today, engaging in this beautiful, thankful practice, this thankful practice for yourself and everything that your body does for you, go way out and thank everything. The way that it digests your food, the way that it gets you from point A to point B, the fact that you can speak with your voice, the fact that your eyes can see, the fact that your ears are working, your jaw is working. When you can come into a sense of gratitude for what your body is doing for you today, then it's going to start to feel positive and it's going to start to change. And with gratitude, you can even thank your body for being in the ideal shape that you want it to be. Again, remember, the brain doesn't know the difference between imaginary and real. So why not thank your body right now for being healed of diabetes, for being diabetes free? Why not thank your body for being the body shape that you desire, for being the amount of pounds that is your goal weight? Why not thank your body for being strong enough to do physical activity? And thank your body for being able to walk, 2 miles every day. Thank your body for being able to run, if that's your health goal, to run a marathon. Thank your body for ingesting and craving healthy foods. Thank your body for letting go of the cravings for unhealthy foods. You got my drift, right? You get my drift. This is what you need to do to get your whole brain involved in getting your health and wellness goals. It doesn't take that much time. It's something that we overlook in our lives, but it's something that when we give our bodies love, our bodies want to reciprocate and show us that it feels loved and functions better for us. Okay, so I'm going to call it quits today. I'm so grateful that you watched this. I hope that it brought up some new things for you, things that you hadn't heard before, or it brought up things that you had heard, but in a way that reiterated how important it is to do that. So if you're watching this now, give me a thumbs up or a heart. If you're watching the replay, give me thumbs ups and hearts as well. I want to just express that really I started this just on part 1, but I knew that it was going to be a lot longer. So I actually have 6 parts of how to get your brain involved, engaged to meet your health goals. Next week, I'm going to talk about affirmations, how affirmations can help you attain your health goals. Then the week after that, we'll talk about mini commitments. We'll also talk about, the week after that, we'll talk about planning, how to plan to get to your goals. And the week after that, we'll talk about accountability, getting an accountability partner. You can start that now if you want, approach the group and say, hey, I need somebody to help me reach my goals. I need to be accountable. Grab an accountability partner, and we'll talk about that. And again, I want to go a little bit deeper into this gratitude, sense of gratitude and love section as well. All right. Thank you so much for listening. This is Nancy FAWN Presser. Today is the last day to get in on my 14-day boot camp. I've changed the name from Stop Emotional Eating Now to Conquer Your Cravings. I think that's more appropriate for most of the people. I hear that a lot of people are they want to stop their cravings. And to me, they're all the same, but I just thought maybe I'd change the language, so you can give me a thumbs up if that relates to you, or a thumbs down if that doesn't. But I'm going to be closing the doors to my boot camp tomorrow. So if you want more information, go to my website, livingthebettylife.com. It will tell you more about the boot camp and how to register for that. And I'm so grateful that you're here. Take good care of yourself. Feed your soul with good things, and get your mind on board. Do these exercises. Get your mind on board to help you create your health and wellness dreams. Remember, a dream is just a subconscious reality, right? So you can dream in this present reality. Get your imagination going. Your brain doesn't know the difference between what's real and what's imagined. So get your imagination on. Go big. Start focusing your brain on the imagination, on the imaginary thing that you want, and it will become a reality. All right. Take care. Lots of love. Sending you lots of love from Greenville, California. All right. Well, thanks everybody for watching. Take care now.